Hello everybody, it's your boy Sablas, back with another one, and Pokemon Go seasons. They can be hit or miss, and I mean that wholeheartedly. A few of the Pokemon Go seasons that we've been getting recently have been very bad, besides World of Wonders, and a few of them are also just alright. Like, you can enjoy them, but there's a specific point in the season where you really just want to quit the game. And I mean, the feeling hits hard. And the feeling can come from either just boring seasonal research, boring spawns, or just lack of good events. But I'm not saying all of this to discredit Pokemon Go. Their seasons are often actually very enjoyable, but I'm just saying there's a few of them that are very bad. And one of the ones that I really want to bring up here is the season of Rising Heroes. This season really did change my perspective on Pokemon Go, but not in a good way, more or less in a bad way. It changed my perspective on Pokemon Go. It's just really not a good season. It was never a good season throughout the whole entire thing. And I mean, like, the final event was good. Shadow Raids getting released, the Master Ball getting dropped. Finally, the seasonal research came full circle. Like, that was a good event, but at the same time, it was still pretty lackluster for a Pokemon Go season that lasted as long as it did. And the next season after it did 10 times better and actually got me to enjoy Pokemon Go again. But what I mean by it changed my perspective is it actually made me notice that sometimes this game is good and sometimes it's bad, and that depends on the season. 2023 Pokemon Go is the perfect example of this, having some good seasons like the season of Hidden Gems, and just having straight up decent seasons like the season of Mythical Wishes and the season of Adventure Abound. And then just having straight up horrible seasons like the season of Rising Heroes, which almost completely and utterly through and through was a bad season of Pokemon Go. The intention of this video isn't really to say that Pokemon Go seasons are falling off. It's really just to ask why. What makes these seasons so bad? And I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me a while to put my nose on it. So to start off, I decided to go into events. Events usually are what take up most of the season, and yeah, though it's very easy to go at least like 3 days without a new event, or even 5 days depending on what season it is. Most of the times you don't really go too long without seeing a new Pokemon Go event, and usually the new Pokemon Go events are pretty good or decent or just alright. And one thing that I do gotta say is that the main reason why Pokemon Go's season of Rising Heroes, for me at least, wasn't fun is because a few of the events were just very lackluster. Like, I did not enjoy them at all. Like, no matter what the situation was or what event it was, I could not find any of them enjoyable to play. The end of season event was a little bit enjoyable, but it wasn't able to keep me in because of how specific the circumstances behind doing a Shadow Raid were. Not to mention, raids. Raids in general are just generally what put together a season as well. Mainly the legendary raids. Mega raids have definitely fell off since we're getting closer to getting every single mega in the game. But when Legend ZA gets released, I bet you we will probably start seeing some Legend ZA mega Pokemon come into Pokemon Go, which will be cool. But at the same time, I have to say that some of these seasons just have horrible legendary raids. And once again, the season of Rising Heroes, I feel like, is the worst offender for this. Even the raid days during that season were just straight up unenjoyable and boring. The season of Hidden Gems definitely is one of those seasons where I remember generally actually going out and grinding a random raid boss. But also another thing is during the season of Rising Heroes, surprise, they actually nerfed remote raids, and I feel like ever since, raids have not felt the same. I remember I used to grind raids a lot, but as soon as that nerf settled in, I just stopped. I couldn't put any more time, money, or resources into doing these raids, and I just quit it. I just could not continue doing these raids after they got so heavily thrown in the dirt and then brought back out and then thrown in the dirt again with a secondary unnecessary nerf, which was raising the price. That felt very unnecessary, but the only real reason why they did that nerf is just to make it harder for the free-to-play players. I thought I found the reason why some of these seasons are so bad. The raids and the events are just generally boring. And so I finally looked at the real reason why they're bad. I dug as deep as I possibly could, and I feel like I finally found the reason why some of these Pokemon Go seasons are just generally bad. And it's something that we like to call lack of excitement. And you may be going like, what do you mean lack of excitement? You know, that can mean many things, and you're right. That's the thing. Lack of excitement. The first month of the season is what sets up the rest of the season to be enjoyable. I feel like the season of World of Wonders is the best example of this. The month of March set up the season to be amazing by re-releasing a bunch of Pokemon that are extremely meta relevant, like the Primals and Zarude, and during April, they made a bunch of mandatory updates to make the game better, except for the Avatar update, return the avatars back to how they were before. Moving on from that, the month of May was the only real letdown month, but by the time we reached May, it had already been done. The season was extremely enjoyable and it wasn't necessarily bad. Also, the month of May wasn't horrible, it just took a while to actually get started, and by then, the season of World of Wonders had been going on for so long that you really just wanted it to end because you couldn't wait for Go Fest. Yeah, this season was only brought down because Go Fest was around the corner. Another thing, huge events. Usually the season leading up to a huge event like Go Tour, Go Fest, or an in-person Safari Zone event are the seasons that people are the most hyped for. Events that are extremely huge, like Go Fest and Go Tour, will get people excited throughout the season and get people playing while they get ready for this event, which I feel like blinds people from the truth. The season of Mythical Wishes, in my personal opinion, is not one of the best seasons. If anything, it's just decent and alright because the Go Tour Global event let down. I don't really count the in-person events because not everybody from around the world in the community can go to this event. At the end of the day, I really feel like they lose sight of the fact that we are all leading up to the global event. The in-person event should still be better than the global version, but it shouldn't lead to the global version being a complete utter letdown because it looks like they didn't even try to make it good. By the way, everything I just said goes for the season of Timeless Travels as well. That season was extremely decent. These seasons also lack consistency. I found that when events are consistently good in the game, and also there's just consistently good community days, and throughout the months just consistently good things happen, I actually end up liking the season. The season of Rising Heroes was bad in my personal opinion because there was no consistency. At no point during that season did I actually enjoy it, and that's the problem with it. I didn't enjoy it because of the lack of consistent good updates and the lack of consistent fun things to do in the game. And I guess a part of that may just have to do with big events, like Go Fest and Go Tour. Those are extremely huge hitters and are usually the most enjoyable parts of the seasons. At the end of the day though, I'm not telling you which season is good or which season is bad. I'm just telling you that these seasons, in my personal opinion, were just not it, and this is the reason why. I feel like Pokemon Go struggles with consistency during their seasons. For 2024 so far, the season of Timeless Travels was enjoyable, but not all the way through. I found that December and January, at least the first half of January, were the least enjoyable parts. But at the end of the day, I still find myself enjoying this game, and that's all that matters. So with that, it's your boy Sodbliss signing out. And if you want to, in the comment sections, tell me what your favorite season of Pokemon Go is.